It feels so good to be back. Hi, I'm Mike, and welcome to our Motovation USA brief unboxing, where you can buy anything, everything premium for your motorcycle. Let's see what we got. Guys, in this one, we're gonna throw on a Luimoto seat cover on a Ducati Street Fighter V4S. This is actually my first experience with Luimoto seat covers. It comes with the passenger seat cover and the rider's cover as well. You can get gel seats where you can customize to make it a lot smoother. You can actually stylize your seat to match the colorway of your bike. I mean, there's quite a bit that you can go on when it comes to Luimoto seat covers. The quality was definitely beyond what I expected when I received this and opened it, took it out the packaging for a first time installer. Then I'll give you some tips and tricks, best practices that you can do to make your installation easy. The number one thing, once you get it out the packaging, pull your actual bike seat off the bike, pre-wrap it around the seat, let it sit in the sun for about an hour or two. That way the materials are loosened and they're stretched properly and they're taking shape of the actual seat, and it's gonna prevent you from having to stretch too much, and you don't have to pull on the actual seams. It's gonna basically flow onto the bike. The second tip I'd like to share, guys, is make sure you have a great staple gun that's gonna work. My initial mistake I'm gonna share with you here. Usually you wanna use a compressed air staple gun, which works amazing. That's what you wanna use. That's what they used in the first video we did here at Motovation. What I ended up doing was grabbing an electrical one, which struggles quite a bit to get the actual staple right into the seam perfectly. So what I ended up doing was grabbing my traditional hand staple pressure staple gun. I was able to really apply pressure and then put it exactly where I need it. So make sure you get a good staple gun, or make sure you have a compressed air staple gun that's going to do the job fairly quickly. A lot of people do not realize there is a seat cover that they include that you can put below the actual seat cover. That way, if you get caught in the rain, in the snow, or the bad weather and your seat get wet, the bottom of the seat does not soak up any of the water. So many people just completely ignore that or don't realize it's actually even there. If you're the kind of person that rides year-round in all types of weather, you might want to throw that on before putting on the seat cover. So just a heads up. My last tip, when you are stretching the seat cover to actually fit your seat, it's gonna feel very snug, very tight. Pull from the center. Don't pull where you're pulling on the seam of the seat cover. That way you don't, thread anything or you kind of put too much strain on it. If you allow it to sit in the sun for about an hour or two, you should be able to pull in fairly lightly for you to kind of get a nice stretch. And again, not in the seams. You want to do it where you're pulling somewhat in the center. It's going to give you a nice wrap, and then the seat's going to look amazing. Let's get to the install, guys. Here's what we're looking at. This is the Luimoto Diamond Grezzo seat cover that we're going to throw on the Street Fighter V4S. I know it looks like it's on at the moment, but it is not. I just want to kind of go over a few things that I think that are going to be very crucial if you're going to be doing this mod for any motorcycle. One of the first things you want to be mindful of, as you can see here, there's a lot of stitching to give it its personality and specific look. You have different material. You have the premium synthetic suede. You have some vinyl on the side here, customization of your logo or your branding. All these materials are going to keep you from sliding, helping you to corner when you brake. Basically, you're going to stay steady when you're on the bike. So let's flip it over for a minute. The reason I talk about all this different stitching that's on here, you want to make sure when you're installing this, as you can see here, everything is lined up properly. I'm not going to show you the passenger seat, that way it's not redundant, but that way you can kind of see how it looks like. I fitted the seat cover on the actual OEM seat. I did not pull off the OEM seat. I didn't need to do that. Also, there's an additional cushion that you're going to get on this actual seat, which is going to be great. So what you want to do is a few things you want to be mindful of when you're working on this project. Definitely take your time. Don't rush doing this. Don't pull it and stretch it for it to fit into the corners. Just want to show you a quick little tip. Since I've had this seat cover on the actual seat in the sun, letting it get some natural light, a little bit of heat in it. You could also use a heat gun, but I'd much prefer to just let it sit out in the sun. It's easier. It gives you a lot more stretch. That way you can pull and get it in exactly where you need to. That way you're not stressing any of the seams and you don't have any issues. That's why I recommend having it sit in the sun. And then at this point, all you have to just kind of batten down slightly so you can staple it. Also, any of the seams, you want to make sure they're battened downwards. You don't want it to be going against the grain. So lastly, I want to kind of mention one more tip that you guys should know about. When you are putting this on your seat, start fastening down some key areas. Don't just start going around stapling the entire seat. You want to kind of look for key areas and then you staple it down. I like to start with the area that is most strenuous to get to. Again, you can see the seams downwards. Flip over and do the same exact thing. Again, as you flip it, seams downwards. And just work in the material into, you want to work the material into the shape. You don't want to pull, you don't want to stretch, you don't want to add any tension to the seams. You want to make sure it's easy going. And again, you can see here, aiming down. Same thing here. Aiming down. See that? Aiming down. And again, if you guys have to pull from center. You have all of this for you to kind of have to stretch a little bit. Don't pull from the seams so you don't cause any like tear or maybe loosen anything up. I'm gonna go towards the back here. And again, if you guys are watching this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up and hit that like button. There we are. Now we're completely in. If you noticed, right, this is not reaching at the very bottom. This is where you want it to end, and then you could staple in here. So what you want to do, you want to pull from the inside. And now you can easily see how well that got pulled over. No issues there. Okay, the other thing you want to keep in mind, you have to massage the materials into shape. You don't have to pull and stretch out the seams. You want to just massage your way through it until it gets to where you need to be. All right, the Luimoto seat makes an amazing gift for the holidays, for someone's birthday, for a good friend of yours that you want to kind of help out or do something cool for. You can hit us up, motivationusa.com. You can actually grab one for one of them. It's not super expensive, but it adds a ton of personality. Also, it increased comfortability since there's a layer of thickness on here, so it's going to be a little bit softer. We all know a lot of riders love a nice soft cushion for riding for long days or track days or something like that. So definitely recommend grabbing this mod, guys. So let's get it going. First step, I like to get some of the areas that are tough to kind of get. All right, we're just gonna jump into this one real quick. It breathes personality, personality, personality. I know, we're talking about a bike, adding a little extra, never hurt, and it does it in a tasteful manner. So shout out to Luimoto for making some amazing products. Highly recommended, man. The only place to shop, motivationusa.com. All right. As recommended, use your parts purchase to support the store that support your sport. Motivation USA gives back to the riding community with everything from safety seminar courses and worldwide racing sponsorships. For the most trusted parts and accessories, shop motivationusa.com. All links will be in the description down below. And remember, ride safe, ride often.